Hello everyone, my name is Anchal and the work I am going to present is about the impact of different dark matter models on the AOR 21 cm signal. This work has been accepted for publication in the monthly notices of the Royal Astronomical Society and is available as a preprint on arXiv. So in cosmology we study the evolutionary history of the universe, and observationally a crucial missing chapter in this history is the cosmic dawn and epoch of reionization. After the cosmological recombination, the universe went into the dark ages, during which the density perturbations in the matter distribution grew, and then the matter collapsed to make the first bound objects, which were the hosts for the first sources of light. Now, as the nature of dark matter decides the timeline and characteristics of these bound objects, it also affects the sources of reionization. Then the natural question that arises is that whether one can use the differences in the observables from the AOR estimated for different dark matter models to constrain the nature of dark matter itself, and if so, then what could be the optimal observable? So to address this question, we considered two different models of dark matter, cold dark matter and warm dark matter, and studied their impact on the 21 cm observables from the AOR. Recently, reionization has been studied in warm dark matter scenarios extensively by several authors, and in particular, Das et al. Have presented a lower bound on the warm dark matter particle mass to be 0.7 keV from the requirement of having a reasonable reionization history which is supported by the available observations. These studies have focused on the 21 cm power spectrum and found the differences in the power spectrum between the cold dark matter and warm dark matter models to be significantly small, particularly for massive warm dark matter particle. So we simulate the 21 cm signal from the epoch of reionization in two steps. In the first step, we simulate the structure formation for the underlying dark matter model, where we first simulate the dark matter density field and then identify the location and size of the collapsed halos. In the next step, we do the reionization simulation, where we first assign the ionizing photon production rate to these dark matter halos. Then we generate the ionization maps, including the effect of redshift space distortions, and in the final step, we convert these ionization maps to the 21 cm brightness temperature maps. To simulate the dark matter density field, we first generate the initial density perturbations at a very high redshift in a box of volume 50 H inverse megaparsec cube, which contains 1024 cube dark matter particles. For the warm dark matter models, the initial conditions are generated using the fitting formula proposed by Weil et al. Then, to evolve these density fluctuations, we used gadget and body simulations. And in our simulation, the mass of a dark matter particle is chosen to be 9.95 times 10 to the power 6 mSnh inverse. So we resolve the halos of mass 10 to the power 9 mSnh inverse with about 100 dark matter particles. These simulations give us the location and size of these gravitationally bound halos. In this figure, we show the dark matter overdensity field obtained from our simulation at redshift 8. Here we have overplotted the halo mass field with the red circles, where the radius of these circles is proportional to the halo mass estimated at that grid. Here, if we compare the matter overdensity and the halo mass field in the three dark matter models, we notice that in warm dark matter models, the density perturbations at small scales get suppressed. This arises because of the free streaming of the dark matter particles in warm dark matter scenario, and this suppression is found to be more prominent for the 2 kV warm dark matter model. This figure shows the simulated halo mass function obtained at three different redshifts for all the dark matter models. We observe that at any redshift, the number of low mass halos get reduced in warm dark matter models compared to the cold dark matter model. Also, this suppression is more for the 2 kV warm dark matter model, which arises because of a larger free streaming scale. However, the number of massive halos is very similar to the cold dark matter model, because at larger scales, the structure formation proceeds similarly to the cold dark matter model. Here we have also shown the theoretically predicted Shed-Tormen halo mass function for all the dark matter models. For the reionization simulations, we used a semi-numerical prescription, Reion Yuga. So here we assumed a linear relationship between the number of ionizing photons produced by a halo and its mass. Nion here is a proportionality parameter which we have kept as 23.21 in the cold dark matter model to achieve 50% ionization by redshift 8. Then to identify the neutral and ionized regions within the simulation volume, we used an excursion set formalism. In this formalism, we first smooth the ionizing photon density and the hydrogen density fields with the spheres of different radii, and if for any radius the ionizing photon density exceeds the hydrogen density, then we flag that point as ionized. Otherwise, we assign it a partial ionization fraction. Here, this Rmin is the spatial resolution of our simulation. This figure shows the reionization history for different dark matter models, and we observe that the global reionization process gets delayed in warm dark matter scenario. This is because in case of warm dark matter model, the low mass end of the halo mass function gets suppressed compared to the cold dark matter model, which results in an overall decrease of the total number of ionizing photons. As this suppression is more pronounced in the 2 kilo electron volt warm dark matter model, it leads to an even longer delay in the reionization process in case of the 2 kilo electron volt warm dark matter model. In this figure, we show the two-dimensional slices of the 21 centimeter brightness temperature at redshift 9, 8 and 7 for all the models in the three columns. We observe that the other prominent impact that different dark matter models have on reionization is the difference in the H1 21 centimeter topology. In these maps for different models, a clear difference in the size and location of the ionized regions is visible. However, one should note that even if these 21 centimeter maps are shown at the same redshift for different models, they are not at the same stage of reionization. We next focus our attention to the statistics that one would use to detect the EOR 21 centimeter signal using radio interferometers. Here we choose to work in the Fourier domain for this purpose because the visibilities, which are the basic observable in any radio interferometric observation, are the Fourier transform of the sky brightness temperature. So first we focus on the 21 centimeter power spectrum, which is the Fourier equivalent of the 2-point correlation function. It is defined by equation 5. So we estimate the power spectrum from the simulated 21 centimeter brightness temperature volume. We first take the Fourier transform of the volume, and then we use equation 5 and 6 to get the power spectra. This figure shows the simulated power spectra for all dark matter scenarios at three different redshifts. The evolution of the power spectra for any dark matter model follows the behavior of an inside-out topology of reionization, where the ionization starts at the high density regions and gradually makes its way to the low density regions. Also, from this figure we can see that the difference in the 21 centimeter power spectra for different models is quite large when they are compared at the same redshift. However, note that here these power spectra are not compared at the same stage of reionization. To get a better idea of how a dark matter model impacts the reionization, it is more reasonable to compare the 21 centimeter statistics at the same stage of reionization. This figure shows the power spectra at the same mass averaged neutral fraction 0.84 and 0.64. And it is obvious from this figure that now the differences in the power spectra at same neutral fraction between different models becomes significantly small, and particularly at large length scales, these differences lie within the sample variance limit. Next, we quantify the relative fractional difference in 21 centimeter power spectra estimated at same neutral fraction. And it is clear from this figure that the amplitude of this difference is larger for the 2 kilo electron volt warm dark matter model. And for a large range of K modes, the relative fractional difference varies in range 5 to 15% between the CDM and 3 kilo electron volt WDM model, and in range 15 to 35% between the CDM and 2 kilo electron volt warm dark matter model. The power spectrum is an incomplete statistic when it comes to optimally quantifying the EOR 21 centimeter signal fluctuations, because the signal becomes highly non-Gaussian in nature and the power spectrum cannot capture this non-Gaussianity. So to capture this evolving non-Gaussianity, we estimate the 21 centimeter bispectra, which is the next higher order statistic. So it is the Fourier equivalent of the 3-point correlation function, and here we use a Bind bispectra estimator, which is defined by equation 9 for a set of closed triangles in Fourier space. So for this purpose, we parameterize our triangle configuration using the ratio between the length of the two arms of the triangle and the angle between them, which is defined by equation 10 and 11 respectively. For a comprehensive understanding of the bispectra, we identify all the possible unique K triangles by imposing the condition given by equation 12. This condition ensures that the tip of the K2 vector in the left figure can only move in the green shaded region, and the right panel here shows the unique triangle configurations for which we estimated the signal bispectra in the n versus cos theta parameter space in terms of cos alpha, and it also shows the different limits of the unique K triangles. In the next 3 slides, we show the 21 cm bispectra at 3 different redshifts and at 3 K1 modes. The two major sources of the non-Gaussianity which drives the 21 cm bispectra are the matter density fluctuations and the neutral fraction fluctuations. For smaller K1 triangles, the contribution from the matter density fluctuations to the 21 cm bispectra, which is always positive in sign, is negligible. So the bispectra remains negative in most of the K triangle parameter space. However, as one moves towards the bispectra for larger K1 triangles, the contribution from the auto-bispectrum of matter density field becomes significantly large, and it makes the 21 cm bispectra positive. These features of bispectra are observed irrespective of the underlying dark matter model. Now, if we compare the signal bispectra in these 3 models as shown in the 3 consecutive slides, we observe that the differences are quite large at the same redshift. For the similar reasons as discussed in case of power spectra, we compare the 21 cm bispectra at the same stage of reionization. Here we show the relative fractional difference in 21 cm bispectra between cold dark matter and 3 kV warm dark matter model at neutral fraction 0.84 and 0.64. So these differences are more prominently seen for triangles with larger K1 modes, and we notice that for most of the K triangle parameter space, the relative fractional difference varies between 10 to 100% or even more. So one can observe that these differences now become significant. However, in case of power spectra, they were within 5 to 15%. In this figure, we show the relative fractional difference in bispectra between CDM and 2 kV warm dark matter model, and we notice that the differences in bispectra between CDM and 2 kV warm dark matter model are larger than the differences between CDM and 3 kV warm dark matter model. Also, for most of the K triangle parameter space, these differences vary between 30 to 300% or even more, whereas in case of power spectra, the differences were within 15 to 35%. We have repeated our analysis by varying the ionizing efficiency, which is characterized by anion, for different dark matter models such that the universe become 50% ionized by redshift 8 in any dark matter model. Now, because of the suppression of low mass halos in warm dark matter models, this condition is ensured by choosing a larger anion value in warm dark matter models. This figure shows the 21 cm brightness temperature maps for all the models at redshift 8, and we notice that these maps have quite a few differences at small scales between different models. And we also notice that in warm dark matter models, the size of the ionized region is larger than the cold dark matter model. This is because as the lack of low mass halos have been compensated by increasing the ionizing efficiency in warm dark matter models, this implies that the high mass halos in warm dark matter models will produce significantly more photons compared to their cold dark matter counterpart. So for this reason, the size of the ionized regions appears to be bigger in the warm dark matter models. In this figure, we compare the 21 cm power spectra for all the models, and we notice that even if we change the reionization model by changing the anion value, these differences remain significantly small, and at large scales they lie within the sample variance limit. However, if we compare these models using the 21 cm bispectra we found that the topological differences become significantly large. So we see that even if we change our reionization source model to arrive at the same stage of reionization at the same redshift, the bispectra remains much more sensitive to the characteristics of the underlying dark matter model. So to summarize the findings, we observed that the density fluctuations on small scales get suppressed in warm dark matter scenario, which also reduces the number of low mass halos compared to the cold dark matter model. This causes a delay in reionization of the universe in warm dark matter cosmologies and also introduces the 21 centimeter topological differences between different models. These topological differences, quantified using the 21 centimeter power spectra at the same neutral fraction, are found to be significantly small, where they vary within 5 to 35%. However, they show up prominently in case of 21 centimeter bispectra, even at the same neutral fraction, where they vary between 10 to 300% or even more. So, using the signal bispectra as the target statistic, one may be able to constrain the nature of dark matter from the future radiointerferometric observations of the EOR. And these are some of the references that we followed. Thank you.